Hello, hello. Welcome to our second episode of Lifecycle Pitch. I am Brian.
Drew.
Andy.
Hello. So Lifecycle Pitch, actually, do any of you want to give the Lifecycle Pitch? What is this thing?
We're pretending that we are madmen, but in the 2020s, and we are pitching some lifecycle marketing concepts to drive retention, activation, monetization, etc. for brands that we love or brands that reach out to us and make a good pitch themselves.
100%. Cool. Andy, you want to move to the next slide?
Yes.
And so a big part of the reason that we're doing this is we actually do this every day. So in different contexts. So I do lifecycle marketing strategy and execution as a solo consultant for a bunch of different brands and verticals. Been doing it for, done it for over 20 brands over the past 10 plus years. So I do this every day. Drew does this every day. Andy does this every day. You guys want to intro yourselves real quick?
Sure. This is Drew Price. The last 5 years or so, I've done mostly fractional work and a lot of mentoring and teaching of the next generation of lifecycle marketers. In the past, I led lifecycle programs at Grammarly and other companies for about 15 to 20 years.
Got it. And I am Andy. I am the founder of Email Love and Email Stack. I spent over 10 years working at email service providers like Campaign Monitor, and now we build our own email products. And I also curate the latest email design trends on emaillove.com. So go and check that out.
Awesome. Yeah. So we do this every day. And then also on the internet, you'll notice there's a lot of content that just tears stuff down and says hey, this could be better, but they usually do that without any context and knowing how things perform. And I don't know, it's just never usually helpful. So with Lifecycle Pitch, what we do is actually come up with these ideas for brands and generate ideas, stuff they maybe not have thought about before. And we're just trying to push it to the next level for them. So today in our first episode, we actually did Netflix, and you can go check that one out. Today, we're doing chess.com. And they actually reached out to us after the Netflix episode. Can you guys want to give any context on that? Because I actually ghosted them. Hit me up on LinkedIn. I never replied, but here we are. So.
Yeah, they were, I guess, persistent enough to also reach out to me. Albert, their head of growth, we crossed over for a little bit at Grammarly. Albert's actually got a really cool background. He's leading, I think, product and growth now at chess.com, if I'm not mistaken, but he was at Duolingo before Grammarly. Excuse me. Albert was doing growth at Duolingo before Grammarly, so he's got this great pedigree, really smart guy. And then their CEO, Eric, also reached out. They seem lean, hungry, but I think they're also secretly kind of killing it. And lifecycle marketing is one of those underserved areas they're looking to scale out further.
Love it. And they were generous enough to send through their metrics and the stuff that they're focused on. And so these concepts, and we'll dig into them, they came out of hey, how can we move these metrics for chess.com? So, Andy, if you want to zoom out, how many concepts do we have today? Let's hop in. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, sweet. So we're going to hop in, chat about these, share the why behind the ideas, the metrics we're trying to move, and then each kind of give our 2 cents on it.
And can we do one quick PSA on, because they even mentioned this explicitly, whether we would do multiple channels. Right now we're focusing on email concepts, but these could absolutely, several of them, if not all of them, could transition to multi-channel in a variety of ways. So if you guys think of any use cases as we're going through this that makes sense for in-product or push, let's try to remember to make a mention of that. But also just generally speaking for our audience, we're indexing on email partially because of the great benefit of working with Andy and him having these email-focused products, but it's also to capture the essence of the idea. So just assume that a lot of these, like I said, are scalable concepts that could integrate in other channels.
For sure. Yeah, Lifecycle is like one thing that we all believe is that Lifecycle is multi-channel. So it can be email, push, SMS, in-app messages, all of the above. So one quick framework around that is like moment, medium, or moment, message, medium. So the moment in the customer journey, what are the messages that can get people to the next step? And then what are the mediums to send that message through? So that could be email, push, SMS, like whatever in that message. It just depends on like what mediums think would be most effective, and then how do those channels play nicely together for that moment in the customer journey. So that's a simple framework to have in mind as you think through Lifecycle as multi-channel as well. So first one, this concept is called win your first game in 2 moves, or what did I call it? ASAP win. Did you put my like little titles in this?
Yeah, you can see them up here.
Okay, cool. So this concept is called ASAP win. If you want to zoom in real quick on it, Andy.
Yep.
So what this really came into is one of the metrics that chess.com is trying to move is I think it was day 1 retention and day 7 retention. So trying to get people in the product doing stuff. And one interesting thing is that a lot of people get discouraged because, especially for beginners, they'll start a game and either the game will take forever or they'll lose. So like if someone goes to a new site, they start playing a game and they lose, it kind of creates just a bad feeling where they're like, do I even want to keep doing this? And so it's really discouraging for people. So we kind of flipped the script there and we're like, hey, how could we get people to feel good and to win their first game immediately? So within chess, there's something called the fool's mate. It's actually the fastest checkmating pattern that can occur in chess. Chess.com actually has some content around this. So like we just repurposed that little blurb from there. But the point of this ASAP win concept is to get someone to win their first game in 2 moves. So we say, hey, win your first game in 2 moves. That appeals to them. And then they can click to try the 2 moves now. It takes them directly to a board that is set up to walk them through the fool's mate. Even it's just like, it can say, hey, drag it here. And then the other side would move and then drag it here. And then the game's done. And the person's like, oh my gosh, I won my first game. And so they would get their first win, and they could actually use this to beat other beginners. That's something that we call it in the thing. Call it a fool's mate because like the person on the other side makes a foolish move, and it enables the person to win in a couple moves. So if they're playing another beginner in real life or even through chess.com, they can beat them really fast. And that would be an awesome thing. And then they can learn how a few of the pieces move. So it's like the simplest, quickest path to value, to a win, and to feeling good, to reverse this thing of new beginners like losing their first game or never even finishing one.
Yeah, and I have a couple of thoughts.
Feedback. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm going to jam on this a little bit. So this, in a way, is a continuation of onboarding, the onboarding experience. And at chess.com, when you sign up, you pick your skill level. So this is a concept that would be indexing towards those like lowest tier skill levels. And this is one example of how you could continue that motion. There could be a drip series, we take them through this multiple times, monitor if they play and complete a real session against friends or bots or whatnot. But I think the idea would be a little bit of a crawl, walk, run for those first 5 to 15 days or so until they get those sessions that are completed. Something along those lines, Brian. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure. So it's like even fleshing this out more, and what does like a drip campaign look like for a beginner, and what are things that fit like within this that could move all those metrics, right?
Exactly. And I think you could really gamify this as well further. And we're kind of showing some of those elements, but this is a bit of a stretch on the analogy. We take games like FIFA or whatnot, where they have like these training modes where you kind of play mini games in order to get used to it, or even before the game starts, it lets you practice a dribble or shooting drill. It's kind of analogous to that. It's just, hey, you can do that kind of stuff with email. You just got to be bold enough to try it, and it's worth doing an experiment at the very least.
Yeah, like this could be multiplied. It could be like, what are the 5 quickest wins in chess? And then just focus on that for beginners. Like that's another potential path too. So like this times 5, and then they'll see different moves every time. They'll learn different ways to win. And then before you know it, they'll have completed like 5 really quick games. That'd be awesome. Andy, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's funny because my son is actually learning chess at school at the moment. So I've started
Cool.
learning the game myself because I don't know how to play, or I haven't really looked into it until recently, and this came up. So it was kind of funny. But I think something along the lines of educating new people on how the different pieces move would be really useful, because that's kind of the hardest thing for me at the moment is I'm trying to remember, okay, the pawn can go that way and that way, or can go forward sometimes, and then there's a lot of rules around it. So I think breaking that down into separate emails and just helping people learn the different moves is a great idea.
That's sick. Cool. Let's move to the next one. And I think one thing that just to point out, you'll notice these like really terrible sketches. So these are literally pen and paper. Like I don't know, they're probably on my desk somewhere. Just sketch these out on paper. And then Andy King did his thing and like use chess.com, design assets, and then turn them into really beautiful emails. So I just want to say kudos to Andy for taking my like really like, I don't know, hand paper sketches, like ugly paper sketches, and turning them into something beautiful. Okay, let's go to the second one. What was the second one?
This one is send this invite, is what it was called.
Send this invite. Wait, was there one before this? All right, was there a second one before that? Oh yeah, okay, cool.
It was just this, yeah.
Okay, sweet. So this one's called send this invite. So the thinking behind here is there's existing functionality within the chess.com product where you can like invite people to join you and play, and they have existing emails. Like we actually went through their existing flows and like checked out all their stuff. So a lot of these concepts honestly are just like taking existing concepts and pushing them one step further to reduce like the time to value. So instead of having to click through to do something, they can just do it directly from the email, right? So it's like a quick time to value is a great principle for Lifecycle, and that's like one thing you'll see within these concepts. So this concept of send this invite, which friend or family member do you want to challenge to a game? The thinking here is that, well, we know that people will be retained more with chess.com if they're like playing with someone that they're close with. So I think they had an email where it's like you could click through and invite a friend, but as you know from like open and click rates, if you have like, I don't know, like a 50% open rate, that'd be like really good. And then if you have like, I don't know, like a 5% click rate, then that's like really good. So it's like that people who click is just so small in comparison to the amount that actually opened. So the thinking here is like, let's just bring the invite experience to the email itself so that openers will see it. So the thinking here is like, hey, we put the text that they can copy and paste and send to a friend. So they could like highlight the actual text, or they could click the button to copy the text, and then it would have their custom invite link, and they could just send it to their friend right there. They don't need to go to the product or anything. It's just all done here in the email. And the bet is that reducing friction to actually send the invite will lead to more people inviting friends and family, more people completing games, and then ultimately more people being retained on the product. Thoughts, comments, feedback, what do y'all think? And then we put a picture of Chess Junkie 85 here that
I don't know if that's Drew's actual username, but I feel like it might be.
I think I saw him there the other day. But yeah, so that's a nice little personalization piece. I don't even think I thought of that. I think
this would be like bringing in the user's profile picture, obviously, and like their username. With this, Brian, with the screen button, would this open up like their text messages so they could then just send it directly?
Yeah, that's actually probably the best idea. Like just have it open up the SMS directly.
Right.
I think backup option is like it would just copy what's in there with like their custom invite link, and then they could just go and paste it. But you're right, actually just opening it up and then they can just type in their friends or family member's name is like totally the move.
Mm-hmm. I like those ideas, and not my username, although I aspire one day to be a chess junkie. I think that sounds really nice. I hope I have a chapter in life where I'm playing chess every day. Mine would be chess junkie 83 if you want to figure out how old I am.
Ah,
I was
nice.
off. I was off.
You were very close. Very close. I'll take that as, at least
Yeah, you're younger than I. Yeah.
if you had put 65, I would have been maybe
Hey, chess junkie 84 over here.
Yeah, 84.
Yeah.
Well, so what was I gonna point out? Oh yeah, so I think one thing that's really great about this tactic and just in general chess is the async nature. It's kind of one of those rare games that is perfect for playing async with a friend or a family member. And it's actually great if it lasts over a few days and it's kind of like a simmer. Yes, I know there's certainly obviously versions of chess where you're playing on a timer and like that's more advanced and whatnot. But I remember playing with a coworker quite a bit at Grammarly the first few years, and it would take 5 days. Like sometimes, you get tunnel vision and forget about it, but you can get reminders and nudges. It's really perfect for lifecycle marketing across email or other channels. So I think there's a lot of fun you could do with this, even possibly like I love the live text and inserting comments, like to be able to send comments again or nudges, like personalize those nudges. If it's been a few days and it's gathering dust, like you can start to talk a little bit of trash.
Is there trash talking in chess?
Yeah, I know, right?
There probably is.
So I love the idea, and I think it's got legs. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Love it. Andy, what do you think?
I was thinking, what if you already had friends that were already on the chess.com website or app? Maybe there's another email or in this email where you could pull in like, hey, your friends Drew and Brian, chess junkies 83 and 84 are on here. Connect with them or like challenge them to a game. Could be another interesting twist on this one.
I think in onboarding, you can like connect your friends, but like honestly with onboarding stuff, I never connect my friends. I'm like, I don't want this to read any of my stuff. So that's not just a chess.com thing. That's like every app thing. But with this one, you're right. Like if they already have an account, it could be cool. That'd be a cool follow-up trigger where it's like the system recognizes that the person they sent to had an account. And then it's like a touch of like, hey, so-and-so already has an account. And it's like your board is set up, like ready to go. Or I think I put the text of like, you can make the first move here where like that person goes and actually makes the first move in the thing. So anyway, that's, if they already have an account, we could definitely do some cool stuff after that for sure.
Cool. Should we move on?
All right, next one. So they have an email that talks about their bot, Martin. Martin has played like millions and millions of games. If you scroll down, you can meet Martin. His name is Martin, 250 million chess games last year. Martin's very, very busy. So the current email that they have like shows Martin, and then it's like challenge Martin to a game, and then you can go like do that. This is the whole thing of like reducing the steps and like creating kind of a sense of urgency. So what this email is instead of challenge Martin to a game, it's Martin already made the first move. So like that's thing number one. It's that's more than just invitation. That's like a, hey, you've been challenged. Instead of you challenge Martin, it's Martin has challenged you. Martin already made the first move. And then the countdown piece adds some urgency to it. So this countdown timer, there's countdown timers you can put into emails, but this is just totally made up, right? There's actually no urgency. So we just make up the urgency with it. So let's say we put like a 5-hour time limit on it. And then when this ends, that clock starts ticking. And when they open it, they see that they have 5 hours before the clock runs out. So it's the recipient's move. So they've already been challenged. They see the timer, it adds urgency. And the bet is that those two pieces together will lead to greater engagement than just introducing Martin and saying challenge Martin to a game. And so they would click through, the game's already going, there's a countdown timer on the side, and they're playing. Tear it apart, build it up. What do y'all think?
Something else I'm on, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my computer was freezing a little bit.
Yes.
Martin's one of a handful of bots too. So another opportunity that has legs of kind of creating that game within a game of, we could even add like a little label here and make it more obvious what level Martin's at or what level Martin's appropriate for. But I'm thinking of things like Mike Tyson's Punch Out or something like that, where you have like, again, a sequence where you're trying to get through the whole bot family. We could even have like a trophy case in the footer of an email of all the bots that you've beaten over time or something like that.
Oh, that's so sick.
I really like just the design and the personality of Martin. And I think that, especially if you don't have like a social network that you think are candidates for playing with right away, I personally am not drawn to just an anonymous bot to play against in chess, but I would be drawn to creating these caricatures and like even backstories and getting a little silly and having, like try to get through all 10 in 3 months or something along those lines. That would keep my attention.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, like a picture of 10 of the bots and there's just a big X in each one that you've beaten. That's so cool. That could live in the product and it could also live in like email creative too. That'd be so cool.
Would you get some kind of prize if you beat all of the bots?
Yes.
Or like some kind of, you get something, right? Like it's got to be challenging by the end. Like it's got to get pretty hard, I would imagine.
Dude, yeah. I wonder, they probably have like leaderboards and stuff, but like, I don't know, it'd be cool to be like, who's beaten the most bots, like some kind of leaderboard thing. Yeah. But there could be discounts or I don't know. I think it'd be more like badges or something, like just some kind of like street cred that they could like have in their profile. They probably already have this stuff, but I just maybe haven't seen it. But like all that stuff could be cool. I think I love the visual of like 10 bots that just X's through them. It's kind of like a punch card, right? It's like, oh, I got to get to 10. I got to get to 10. They probably have more than that. But like even, what you could do? It's like at what point of number of games completed does someone usually like upgrade or does someone like really become a retained user? And like that could be the number to land on. So like 10 instead of 10, let's say that number's 3. And it's like here are the 3 bots like personalized for you based on your skill level to beat next. And it's like that gives them a short-term goal to work towards. And after they do that, it's like they're like retained in the product and they get really into it every day.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that this created a thread to pull on. I would add that it could be a community play. So when you were talking about incentives, it could be, you basically join a club and then there's local gatherings of those people that chess.com can help for certain select cities, like throw a party or local gathering where that's how you make friends, and then that'll create like people you actually want to keep playing against because you're at a similar level.
Do they do local stuff? Like chess.com offline kind of deal?
This is an opportunity. If not, I have no idea.
Yeah, that'd actually be really cool. Did you guys watch The Queen's Gambit on Netflix?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I've watched it like 3 times. Like I love the scene at the end when she's walking like outside and she sees all the old dudes playing chess, and then like her and that one guy end up playing, and everyone's just like watching and stuff. So it's like there's these chess communities like in different cities around the world, and that's such a cool idea to like bring it offline. That would like, oh my gosh, that would make the community really strong for sure.
There's obviously a Netflix chess.com collab that they could do with Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
If we want to bring in our Netflix stuff into.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Let's make a Netflix plus chess.com email. What does that look like?
Next edition.
Next edition. Sure. All right, cool. Let's do the next one. Oh, I love that community stuff. It's fun seeing the ideas that come out of these discussions. All right, this next one. So chess.com offers puzzles, and in some of the existing emails it says, hey, like go check out our puzzles, right? And so instead of having people go, it's like, how do we bring the product experience to the inbox? So this concept is called, can you solve this puzzle? And the board in this email is already set up with the puzzle. Can you solve it? So like the visual has like the red thing and the green thing, and like I don't, maybe this ends up being like a GIF or something, but we basically put the puzzle in the email. So when someone sees it, their first thought is like, okay, yeah, I can solve this. And then they go and like look at it and they figure out the puzzle, and then they click place the piece, and then they go and do it in the context of the product. So before is, hey, we have puzzles. Here's one puzzle. Go check it out. After is, can you solve this puzzle that's directly in the email? And the person's like, hell yeah. And then they like do it, and then they click the button and go do it in the product. And then the one to use here is actually the most popular puzzle. And so that'd be like a data play, or there'd be a data thing to go look into. But honestly, just take like the top 3 puzzles and then put those in the emails and test those and see how those convert. But if they're popular in their product, they'll be popular in email as well. So again, the principles here: quick time to value, bring the product experience to the inbox. Yeah, so that's can you solve this puzzle?
You almost thought you were Pat Sajak for a second there.
Can you solve this puzzle?
And so what comes to mind here for me is audience and
Yeah.
re-engagement. So like if or like certain triggers where if someone was a daily active user and then they've slipped to a weekly active user, a weekly that's slipped to a monthly, like basically they've lapsed for a certain amount of time. Like it'd be interesting to test these types of mechanics for re-engagement. Like what's the carrot you can dangle? And also like if it works, how do you scale it and really like diversify? Like can you use their product bot technology, like create some kind of like AI piece where this is built into the email operation, like the tech stack? Like basically, can you keep generating new puzzles automatically without having to manually put that load on the email lifecycle marketing team? That would be interesting.
Smart. In scaling it too, like honestly, there could be like puzzles by segment. So like, what's most popular beginner puzzle? What's most popular intermediate puzzle? What's most popular expert puzzle? That could be sick, and that would be a way to like personalize it even more.
Yep.
I think a really interesting concept as well would be an interactive email where you could actually move the pieces in the email.
How do you do that? I saw you posted some interactive stuff recently. Like, how do people do that? How do people even do that?
Yeah, it usually requires manual coding or someone very advanced at coding emails. I think there's a few email builders that can do some like generic like carousels, but it would work in a similar way to some of these emails where you see like you can click on something and something pops up. I'm imagining it would work in a similar way where you click on a square and then it moves the piece. Yeah, I'm not volunteering to build that myself. That would be far beyond what I could build, I think. But I think it would be a really interesting concept for them to explore.
That's awesome. They won't even have to go into the product. It could just be like, do it here.
Right.
Oh, that's sick. Sweet. I think is that 4 down? 1 more to go.
We got last one here.
We're cruising. Beat Gary. Is it Kasparov? Am I saying it right? Beat Gary Kasparov. Okay. Yeah. So concept here: beat Gary Kasparov. Basically, there's all these like chess grandmasters, right? And I think some of them have lost games. I don't know if there's any that are like truly undefeated ever, but this would especially be for like expert people. It's, can you beat X? So we just picked Gary Kasparov for this concept. So let's say you're an expert at chess, you're getting better, and you look up to Gary Kasparov. I mean, you get this email. It's like, can you beat him? And then what it would pull up is a match where Gary Kasparov lost, but it like fast forwards it to like the board where he lost in like 3 moves. So the copy here is Gary Kasparov lost the above board in 3 moves. Can you figure out what they were and beat Gary Kasparov? And then it's a really fun CTA of like, hold on, what is it? What does it say? Can you scroll down? Beat Gary if you can. So the person getting this is like, it's a challenge, right? Like, can they beat Gary Kasparov? Oh, can they beat Gary Kasparov in 3 moves? Oh, there's a board already set up where they can go try. And then they will go into the product and then like, I don't know, they try and figure it out. What if they don't do it the first time? They want to do it again. They want to do it again. And they try a second time, third time, or they do it the next day. Like, it just can lead to increased engagement. And then you do this for all the different experts. I think there's like a Magnus Carlsen. You could do like the girl from Queen's Gambit. Like, you could probably replicate some games from there. Like, I don't know, that'd be sick. And so you could also do it by segment. But it's really like challenging people, engaging them with something that they want to do. It's like, I think every person who is getting good at chess, they're like, hey, could I beat so-and-so? And it's like, this really plays into that and productizes it and gets them engaged in the product.
I love this. It seems like such a great fit. And my only train of thought was when you get into the product and you start trialing on beating Gary, I think there needs to be an option for either hints and or to just show the moves. Like if someone just can't do it, because I think a North Star for all of this needs to be teaching and learning and not just like leaving people high and dry. So there should always, in many cases, maybe not always, but in many cases, an option to, show me how, throw in the towel, but to get that insight.
That's really smart. Yeah, like a show me how thing. A part of me wonders like if there's a certain skill level where you could actually like egg them on of like, we're not going to show you how. I don't know, that'd just be jacked up though. But I don't know, like for expert people, it's like, hey, can you do this? I don't know.
You choose like, do you want hard mode or do you want like easy mode? And you
yeah. They
the
click
hard mode people, it's like
hard mode. They show me how just like grays out and they can't click it anymore.
Yeah,
it's like you can't click this for 7 days or something. I don't know. That'd be so messed up. But yeah, that'd be also really fun. All right, cool. So can you zoom out? Let's look at the terrible sketches again. And then Andy made them beautiful. We have ASAP win, send this invite. The clock is ticking is the name of the third one. Can you solve this puzzle and then beat Gary Kasparov? Or our 5 concepts for chess.com. So any final thoughts or does that conclude this episode of Lifecycle Pitch? What do y'all think?
I think it was great. I think the only additional comment I was going to make is that we're always like, Andy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're following the look and feel of the product and the website that we're taking on. We're not like inventing the look and feel. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been receiving chess.com's emails, and I think they do some great design. So this is definitely inspired by their existing emails.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, we hope you got inspiration from this. Lifecycle folks watching this, and then chess.com, you asked us to make it. This is what we put together for you guys. So you can I'm sure you can run with this. I'm sure your in-house team could build this. Happy to help in any way possible. But yeah, thanks for the opportunity to do Lifecycle for chess.com and give some ideas to y'all. That's our Lifecycle pitch.
We should sign up for the affiliate partnership. We might send like 37 new leads for chess.com.
Love it.
We'll add that in the notes.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cool, guys. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.